Good morning. I am Dr. D. Anita Kumari, Associate Professor, School of Management Studies, Vistas. In today's class, we are going to discuss about Transfer of Property Act. The Transfer of Property Act 1882. Under the Indian legal system, the properties are divided into two categories, movable and immovable. The Transfer of Property Act TOPA 1882, which came into the force on July 1st, 1882, deals with the aspect of transfer of properties between living beings. What does transfer means under the Transfer of Property Act? The term transfers includes transfer through a sale, mortgage, lease, actionable claim, gift or exchange. The Act does not cover transfer by operation of law in the form of inheritance, forfeiture, insolvency or sale through the execution of decrees. The Act is also not applicable on the disposal of properties through will and does not deal with the case of succession of the property. Types of property transfer under the Transfer of Property Act. The Transfer of Property Act talks about 6 types of property transfer, namely sale, lease, mortgage, exchange, gift and actionable claim. The Act also prohibits the transfer of easement rights, a right to use someone's land or property in some way. These include the rights of way, the passage, the right of light, the right of water, etc. Example, Ram has a right of passage over the land belonging to Mohan. Ram desired to transfer his right of way to Ganesh. As this is transfer of a easement right, it is invalid. One can also not transfer one's interest in a property restricted and its enjoyment. Example, if a house is lent to Ram for his personal use, he cannot transfer his right of enjoyment to Mohan. A right to future maintenance is only for the personal benefits of the person to whom it is granted. Hence, this right cannot be transferred. A tenant having a non-transferable right of occupancy cannot alienate or assign his interest in the occupancy. Transfer of property to an unborn child under the Transfer of Property Act. A person who is planning to bequeath his property to more generation than one will have to keep the provision of the Transfer of Property Act in mind. While doing so, this becomes imperative to avoid a legal complication at a large stage. Under the provision made in Section 13 and Section 14 of the Transfer of Property Act, the transfer of property directly in favor of an unborn child is prohibited. For this to happen, the person intending to make a transfer will first have to transfer it in favor of a person who is alive on the date of a transfer. Example, suppose Ram transfer his property to his son Mohan and thereafter to his unborn grandchild. In this case, he was not born before the death of Ram. The transfer would not be valid. The transfer would be valid if the child is born before Ram passes away and the interest of the property vests in the Mohan till the child is born. Responsibility of the seller during the transfer of the property under the Transfer of Property Act. To disclose to the buyer any material defect in the property. To provide to the buyer on his request for examination all documents of title relating to the property. To answer to the best of his information all relevant questions put to him by the buyer with respect to the property or the title. To execute a proper conveyance of the property when the buyer tends to him for executed at a proper time and place on a payment or tender of the amount due in respect of the price. To take as much care of the property and all the documents which are in his possession as an owner of ordinary prudence would take of such property between the date of the contract of a sale and delivery of the property. To give the buyer possession of the property. To pay all the public charges and rent occurred with this respect to the property up to the date of the sale, to discharge all the encumbrance on the property then existing. Duties of the buyer during the Transfer of Property Act. To disclose to the seller any fact about the property of which the buyer is aware of, to pay the purchaser money to the seller at the time and place of completing the same, to bear any loss arising from the destruction, injury or decrease in the value of the property not caused by the seller, where the ownership of the property has passed on to the buyer, to pay all the public charges on rent which may become payable on the property, the principal monies due on any encumbrance subject to which the property is sold and the interest thereon afterwards accruing due where the ownership of the property has passed on to the buyer. Rules regarding the Transfer of Property Act. When the transfer of property ownership is good take places from the seller to the buyer, for this purpose we have two heads, that is specific goods and ascertained goods. Unascertained goods and future goods. Specific goods and ascertained goods. Let us discuss the rules related to the transfer of property goods. Section 25. In case of a sale of specific goods, Section 20 is a case study. Badri Prasad versus State of Madhya Pradesh. Badri Prasad, the merchant, has selected some standing trees in the Madhya Pradesh Forest Department to do transfer. But before the ownership transferred, the selected trees were destroyed in the fire accident in the forest. Now, what is the solution? The state of Madhya Pradesh is responsible to bear the loss, hence, the ownership is not transferred to the Badri Prasad. In case of a sale, ascertained goods, Section 18, identified or separately kept. Ascertained means identified or separately kept. This is a case study in between Talley versus Baxter. Talley is a purchaser and Baxter is a hashtag, that means dry grass. Talley, the purchase, has separately identified and kept the hashtag to transfer. But before the delivery, selected goods were destroyed in the fire. Now, purchaser is responsible since it is held under the ascertained. Ascertained goods in the sense where the customer selected the goods and informed the seller to withhold in his own risk. So, that is called ascertained goods. In case of unascertained goods, Section 23, not identified or not separately kept. The goods are mixed, are not identified or separately by the purchaser, hence the seller is responsible if there is any damages in the goods before delivery. Intention of the parties, Section 19. It is a case study of between Mayers versus Appley. The Mayers is a buyer and versus a Baxter, the merchant, seller of a machine. The Mayers, the buyer want to buy a machine from the seller, but the seller said that the machine is not in a good condition. It is under the process of repair. Buyer agreed to receive the machine after the repair of the goods, but before the delivery of the goods, the selected goods were destroyed in the fire accident at the time of repairing the condition itself. Now, what is the solution is available? The court of law held that the seller is responsible because there is an agreement between both of them, but ownership is not transferred. It's with seller only. Before the goods ownership is transferred, the machine got destroyed under the process of repair of machine. In case of a goods delivered to the carrier, the buyer is responsible if there is any damages in a goods before delivery at the time of transaction mode, because bill or receipt is already prepared on the name of the buyer. So, if any damages occurred, the seller is not responsible. Goods sale on sale or return basis. It's a case study between Elptech versus Barry's. Elptech is a seller of a horse and Barry is a representative to sell a horse. Helptake, the seller, handed over his horse to his representative to Barris for sale of purpose. But after some time, the representative was not able to sell a horse. Before hand over the horse to the helptake, the horse was died. The solution is, the court of law held that the seller helptake is responsible because there is no ownership is transferred, just the seller instructed his representative to sell the horse, but in unavoidable situation, the horse was died. Deliverable state. The specific unascertained goods must be in a deliverable state, which means the state in which the buyer cannot refuse the delivery of the goods and bound to take the delivery of the goods. Example, polished furniture is ready for the purchase at the showroom. Here, furniture is in a deliverable state. Rules. The ownership and property in a goods said to be transferred immediately from the seller to the buyer at the time of a contract. Not deliverable state. The specific and ascertained goods are not in a deliverable state, which means some work is still required to be finished before the delivery can be given to the buyer. Example, polishing of furniture is required before delivery of the goods. So here the goods will be in a deliverable state once the polishing is completed. Rules. The ownership and property goods is said to be transferred from the seller to the buyer once the goods are in a deliverable state and the notice for the same is given by the seller to the buyer. Till the time it's in a non-deliverable state, then the ownership lies with the seller only. Price, weight, measurement of the goods yet to be determined. Pricing, weight, measurement of specific and ascertained goods is not known at the time of a contract, so till the time it is not known, ownership remains with the seller. The rules. The ownership property goods said to be transferred from the seller to the buyer at the time when the price, weight, measurement of the goods is determined and the notice for the same is given by the seller to the buyer. Where the goods are delivered on the approval basis rule. The property in a goods passes from the seller to the buyer. When a buyer gives his approval or acceptance to the seller or does any other act of giving approval to the transaction like consumes the goods, resell the goods to the third party, etc. When the buyer does not give his approval or acceptance to the seller but remains the goods without giving the notice for rejection beyond the time fixed for the return, and if no time is fixed after the expiry, lapse of the reasonable time. Unascertained goods and future goods. Firstly, unascertained goods needed to be ascertained, then only the ownership transfer from seller to the buyer. Till the time the goods are unascertained, the ownership is remained with the seller only. Example, A agreed to sell a B 10 liters of mustard oil from the 100 liters of oil available with A. B agreed and paid the price for the same to A. So here, till the time 10 liter oil is separated from the 100 liters of oil available, it will be called unascertained goods, and property in a goods does not pass to B, it remains with the A, the seller. The rule is, firstly goods need to be ascertained, then only the ownership transfer from the seller to the buyer. Till the time goods are unascertained, the ownership remains with the seller. Unconditional appropriation of the goods seller and a buyer mutually select the goods for the buyers without any condition attached to it or gives consent mutually for selecting the goods. Exemption to nemo dat quod non habet. That nemo dat quod non habet means the seller should have the ownership of a goods in order to sell them to the buyer. But there are few exceptions to it, which means even non-owner can sell even they don't have a ownership of a goods. Sale by estoppel. A statement or conduct leads to the buyer to believe that the person selling the goods has the authority to sell them, and the actual owner don't show any objection regarding the sales transaction. This will be considered a sale by estoppel if below mentioned conditions are fulfilled. The actual owner does not show any objection regarding the sale transaction. A buyer acted in a good faith and buyer do not have any doubt. Sales by mercantile agent. A mercantile agent is a person who is appointed by a principal to do some act on his behalf. So the mercantile agent can sell the goods on behalf of the principal even he is not actual owner of the goods. But below the mentioned condition should be fulfilled by the mercantile agent. Possession of the goods with the consent of the principal acting in the ordinary course of a business. Buyer acted in a good faith. No notice of no authority to sell given by the principal. Sales by jointly owner. There are two persons, A and B, who jointly owns a gold bar. They will be called joint owners. Here both of them are the owner. Ownership is divided between them. If the one owner want to sell the gold bar, then below mentioned condition needs to be fulfilled. Sole possession of the goods with the other joint owner consent. Buyer acted in the good faith. No notice of no authority to sell. Sales by a person in the possession of the goods under void. We have already done a voidable contract. Now only explaining this point here. If the cheated party do not take any action, then other party who has obtained the goods by a coercion, undue influence, etc. can sell the goods provided below mentioned conditions are fulfilled. Possession of the goods under voidable contract by the other party. Goods sold by before contract is cancelled by the cheated party. Buyer act in good faith. Sales by seller in the possession of the goods after sales. Example, A has sold goods to B. However, A has not made delivery of a goods to B. That means A still possessed the goods and sold the same goods to C. Sales by a buyer before the transfer of ownership. Example, A has not sold the goods to B but only delivered the goods to B. That means only the possession of the goods is transferred. So here this does not make a B a buyer and a seller. This is only a bailor and bailee relation created and remains the actual owner. But still B sold the goods to C and this transaction is valid if the below mentioned condition are followed. Hence C will become the actual owner of the goods. Sales by pawnee under the pledge. Example, A pawner has taken a loan from pawnee B for 10,000 rupees by pledging the gold as security. If A does not repay the amount to B, then B has the authority to write to recover the amount of a loan by the selling the gold to another person if B is not actual the owner. So with help of this topic, we could able to understand what are the rules to be followed in the transfer of property. Thank you.